I am Pops, and yes, I want to talk about Ghostbusters for a quick moment. A link will be in the description because I was able to be on with a common idiot, Matt. He did a show with Flaccid Phoenix. We talked about whether Ghostbusters is overrated or not. And here's my thing. If you're from the time where Ghostbusters was a big deal, I think if you're kind of like the child of the 80s and 90s, you're probably a big fan of this movie. I think it's people who were born like later. Maybe it's like kids that are my kids' age, like they were born in the 90s, so they didn't even see Ghostbusters until the 2000s or later. Maybe not as much. Here's the big thing: this movie just holds up really well for me. And the script is great. The gags still work. It's a blast. I still love all of the elements of the movie, whether it be proton packs and PKE meters and Ecto One. I think the cast is great. All those elements work for me. So I'm very biased and invested in my love of Ghostbusters. I don't want to spend a ton of time here, other than tell you that I've rewatched this movie now twice in the month of June. And I can't wait for next year because next year will be the 40th anniversary. And I keep toying around with the idea whether or not we should have Ghostbuster Day or not. We had Star Wars Day this year, 40th anniversary of Jedi. Other reasons we can all compile on the 25th. And next year would be the 40th anniversary of Ghostbusters. We could do something on the day that it's released. I don't know. I'm just kind of talking about that. I'm not going to pretend that I'm as versed in sort of like all of the lore and the elements that are beyond the scope of the movie. And I don't really care for the second movie. So I don't know that I'm the best person for something like that, but I could see this being a really cool thing to do and participate in some way, shape, or form. And if that's your thing, maybe we should partner up and figure that out now so we can have a plan for 2024. So, with that, let me just go right to the trailer. I'm just going to cheat because I don't know what to say. I love the movie. I think everything about this is great. I love the history of them making the movie, like shooting in an actual library and having different problems. The librarian is an amazing scene. The ghost that they pull off is just amazing. Everything. The books are floating. The card catalog. The ooh. Of course, we get Annie Potts. She's just phenomenal. All of this stuff is just done really well. By the way, this is another trailer, and I pointed this out, I think, last week during City Slickers. Pretty sure that the trailers don't ruin the jokes in the comedy because they mix it up with what you see on screen. So you'll have the audio cut or attached to a scene that's not where that joke lands. So you end up getting the laugh in the trailer and you want to see it, but when you see the actual film, it's still a new joke in its presentation. This was way clear in the City Slickers trailer. If you go back and watch it, it's the saddlebag with Ides gag. It is cut completely different in the trailer than it was in the movie, and it works in both places. Ghostbusters works in the same way as well. And again, just the little nuances when they show up at the library, look at Venkman's face, always scoping out the ladies.
They're armed.
Now, so you get a lot more voiceover with this, right? Right? Get a lot more voiceover and stuff like that. I wanted to see what kind of. I just wanted to see what the gag was because I couldn't remember.
They're dangerous.
Try to imagine.
See, they cut away, so you don't get the gag. You just get that they do something, and the narrator gives you a joke about being dangerous, whatever. So you don't get her quippy comeback there. They cut it up. See how well this was done to not ruin the comedy. Like you get enough of it.
Important safety tip. Thanks, Egon.
They're professional.
All right, so see, they cut to something completely different and things like that. It's definitely mixed up enough that you get it. This is the love stuff with Dana. See, this is still the library footage. Like almost all of the library footage and that initial ghost is spoiled, but it's all mixed up so that you don't have the whole scene ruined when you go and watch the film for the first time.
Proportion. Real wrath of God type stuff. Exactly. Fire and brimstone.
See how they cut away? See how they cut away and they show you footage that's not correlated to that scene? I'm bringing this up because it seems like this is a very valid thing that used to be normal. And now with movies, they're not using this technique. And then when you go see the movie, a lot of these jokes and gags and lines don't work because you've already seen it. Here we've heard and seen it in completely a mixed up and disorienting way. Anyway, I know I'm off topic of really like praising the film because I just love all of this.
Of Spook Central.
You want this body?
Is this a trick question?
See, lots of fun stuff. Lots of fun stuff. Um, what okay, so the effects don't age quite as well. Oh man, Rick Moranis is fantastic. Rick Moranis is fantastic. So yeah, the link is there for my conversation with Matt and Flaccid, and we kind of go through. I think the biggest thing with Flaccid in the overrated category of folks is because the popularity of the Ghostbusters as a merch seems like there would be more to the movies. Like it just seems like there's a lot that's come out of not much material because people are really into the cosplay, the proton packs, the Ecto one, all that kind of stuff. It's like it seems like it's a lot considering that there's really just like one movie, a second movie that's Of course, we don't even acknowledge what that one thing is in between before we get to Afterlife, which I think is a very satisfactory conclusion. I'm not sure how I feel about things moving forward. But I can tell you that I sure have loved rewatching Ghostbusters and looking ahead to next year. Love to see your thoughts on where you are on this. Am I crazy wanting to have Ghostbuster Day next year? Am I crazy for loving this movie this much? This to me, this is a very solid 4-star movie for me, and because of its rewatchability, I'm willing to admit that I can grade this even higher than that on just a pure bias because it's in my Nexus wheelhouse of stuff I love. Like I just love Ghostbusters. So for me, it's even higher than that personally, but I think it's a solid 4 stars. I don't tell you. It's just the script is great. It's perfect. It works. So that's my take on it. I'm sure you guys will correct the course where you think I'm off base. Thank you so much. I am Pops.
I mean, this is going to make E.T. look like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know what I'm saying?
What is Pops doing?
Right? And I'm not playing no